Hi, my name is Yada.
Hi, my name is Bandile.
Hi, my name is Gamo.
Hi, my name is Imani.
Organizational behavior is a discipline of social science that seeks explanation for human behavior in organizations. Organizational behavior draws on core disciplines such as economics, communication, and law to create and investigate multi-level explanation of why people engage in particular behavior and which behavior under which circumstances leads to better outcomes. Organizational behavior is the study of human behavior in the workplace. It examines how individuals and groups interact and how these interactions impact the organization. Organizational behavior matters because it helps us to understand what motivates employees, how to improve communication, and how to create a positive work environment. Organizational behavior is very important because it helps make workplaces more efficient, raises employees' spirits, and leads to better results for the organization. Here are some of the key reasons of why organizational behavior matters. One is improving communication, how to build the best way for employees to communicate. And number two is make communication clear by setting up organized ways to share information. And three is to boost teamwork amongst remote and hybrid teams using digital tools.
Motivation theories are used to understand factors that influence attitudes and behaviors of people. Many motivational factors can be used to understand these factors. The most common motivational theories used are Maslow's hierarchy of needs and Herzberg's two-factor theory. An employee's motivation influences people's attitudes and behavior within the workplace. How Maslow's hierarchy of needs influences attitudes and behaviors. Maslow's hierarchy of needs focuses on 5 levels of needs, which include physiological needs, safety needs, social needs, esteem needs, and self-actualization needs. Influence on attitudes. Maslow's hierarchy of needs suggests that if employees feel that all 5 levels of needs have been met, then the employee's motivation will increase. This can have a positive impact on attitudes by increasing satisfaction. When employees feel that their needs are met, their commitment to the organization increases, which leads to a decrease in turnover. And the influence on behaviors. When all 5 needs are met and there is an increase in employee motivation, employees will work more efficiently, increasing productivity and performance. An increase in employee motivation causes a positive change in organizational behavior because motivation encourages hard work and persistence among employees. An example of how Maslow's hierarchy of needs influences attitudes and organizational behavior is how paying fair wages and recognizing work well done improves focus at work. This will result in increased satisfaction among employees, leading to positive attitudes and behavioral outcomes. How Herzberg's two-factor theory influences attitudes and behaviors. Herzberg's two-factor theory divides workplace factors into 2 categories: motivators and hygiene factors. Motivators. Motivators are workplace factors that increase satisfaction and motivation. Motivators can be described as factors that encourage people to perform at their best. Examples of motivators are achievement, recognition, and advancement opportunities. Hygiene factors. Hygiene factors are workplace factors that bring dissatisfaction when absent. Hygiene factors relate to the working environment and not the work itself. Examples of hygiene factors are company policies, job securities, and working conditions. The influence on attitudes is that the presence of motivators can encourage positive attitudes amongst employees, such as job satisfaction. The presence of hygiene factors prevents negative attitudes amongst employees. An example of a negative influence can be careless work within the organization. Influence on behaviors. The presence of motivators can encourage employees to show more initiative in performing tasks. The absence of hygiene factors can lead to complaints from employees, which will reduce job satisfaction. An example of how the application of Hertzberg's two-factor theory can influence attitudes and behavior amongst employees is how a working environment with modern equipment and safe working conditions prevents dissatisfaction amongst employees.
What is perception? Perception in organizational behavior refers to the process by which people interpret and make sense of their environment in the workplace. It is subjective and affected by cognitive biases, expectations, and individual experiences. The relationship between perception and decision making. Perception is a very important part of decision making as it may affect how we assess data, consider our options, and finally make a decision. It may also result in cognitive bias, which are areas that can cause irrational decisions. How perception affects decision making and judgments. Selective perception, which is people often disregard contradicting evidence in favor of information that supports their opinions. Projection bias, which is people tend to presume that other people share the same thoughts or emotions. Overconfidence bias, which is overestimating one's skill understanding, which might result in dangerous decisions. For example, out of overconfidence, a project manager may underestimate the timeline of their work, which results in a delay. We also have stereotyping and halo or horn effect, anchoring bias, information bias, and attribution bias, which you can check out. Factors that affect the perception of an individual. Factors in the perceiver, we have attitudes, interest, and experience. Factors in targets, we have motion, sounds, and size. And factors in the situation, we have time, work setting, and social setting. Impact on workplace dynamics. We have leadership decisions, which is unfair promotion may result from biased perception. Employee morale, unfair criticism can lower motivation and productivity. Conflict and miscommunication, misunderstandings at work can result from different perspectives. Strategies to mitigate perceptual distortion. Awareness training, educate managers and employees about cognitive bias. Feedback mechanism, to reduce personal prejudice, promote 360-degree feedback. Diverse teams, having a variety of viewpoints helps
Person-organization fit is a belief that in general, people are mostly selected by the organizations that match their values. So in an instance where somebody values teamwork, they're most likely to be selected by an organization that prioritizes teamwork, that encourages teamwork. And then person-job fit is John Holland's theory that identifies 6 personality types and suggests that the match between a personality type and work environment determines satisfaction. So in person job fit, the theory basically describes how certain personality types are in certain work environments or do well in certain work environments. For example, if you're in a working environment where most people are isolated and you are basically a social butterfly, you can't work in that environment because you thrive over people interactions. So the importance of linking individuals to an organization. So high productivity. When individuals are in an environment where they feel like their values are being valued and they feel like their belief systems are supported, they are most likely to be more productive, which benefits the organization overall. Lower staff turnover. In an organization where employees and individuals share the same values, teamwork is very much efficient, as everybody would understand each other, understand their beliefs, and understand how each and every person works in certain environments, which can benefit the organization. For the employee, working in an environment where your beliefs and your values align with everybody else, you are most likely to get job satisfaction, as you're working in an environment where you are satisfied with the job that you're doing because it doesn't compromise your personal values, and until you're not selling yourself to the organization. And career development. Being in a job where you have high job satisfaction can also lead to career development, because you're in an organization where you're satisfied by the job that you're doing, which can help you advance in your career. You'd be more interested in more positions in the organization that might lead you to develop your career. And the positive effect of job organization fit is it increases the job performance of the individuals in the workplace, which leads to higher productivity. The organization is able to grow in this way because everybody has developed an organizational culture, which can lead to the benefit of the organization and the employees, and lowers staff turnover.
In conclusion, our values and personality shape what we like and the situations we feel at ease. While our personality can affect how we act, we shouldn't forget how important the situation is. Many companies use personality tests to choose employees, but these tests can be problematic because people might fake their answers and they don't always predict job performance well. Perception is how we understand the world around us, and it greatly affects our actions. However, there are many biases that can distort our perception and cause misunderstandings. Thank you.